Hello students, we are reading To Autumn by John Keats and I could do first stanza in the last video. In the first stanza, Keats pictured a colorful and very rich image of the season where autumn along with his friend sun is bringing all the fruits and vegetables on earth to maturity. Now let us move on to the second stanza. This is the second stanza of the poem, and I quote, "Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store? Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swathe and all its twined flowers. And sometimes like a gleaner thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook, or by a cider press with patient look thou watchest the last oozings, hours by hours." So in the second stanza also, Keats continues to personify autumn, and here autumn is pictured as a farmer. Keats, in the beginning of the stanza, is posing a question and he's asking, "Who hath not seen thee oft amid thy store?" Who hasn't seen thee? Who hasn't seen autumn often between his store of harvest? And next he says, "Sometimes whoever seeks abroad may find thee sitting careless on a granary floor, thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind." In the next line, he answers to his question and he says, "Sometimes." At times, if a person seeks abroad literally it means foreign country. But here the implication is someone who goes far away, possibly from the city to village area to the countryside. That person happens to see, or he might find, these sitting careless on a granary floor. Keats says, one may spot autumn sitting carelessly on a granary floor of the storehouse for grain. Thy hair soft lifted by the winnowing wind. And the hair of autumn is gently lifted by the winnowing wind. Winnowing wind is the eastern wind that helps in removing the outer covering, the husk from the grain. And this winnowing wind, and winnow literally means to remove the husk from the grain, अनाज को फटकना. And here wind is blowing through the autumn's hair. And possibly Keats is imagining autumn as a woman who is sitting carelessly on a granary floor and whose hair is waving in the winnowing wind. Okay. Next he says, "Or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep, drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swathe and all its twined flower." Now, autumn is seen as a reaper, or on a half-reaped furrow sound asleep. Or Keats says, if not on the granary floor, one may see autumn fell asleep on the furrow of a field. Furrow is a kyari, the long lines in the field on which seeds are sown. So one might find autumn as a reaper fell asleep on the furrow, on a half-reaped, half-cut furrow. Why? Why did he fall asleep? He says, "Drowsed with the fume of poppies, while thy hook spares the next swathe and all its twined flowers." Poppy is a plant with colorful flowers from which opium is extracted. Opium, अफीम in Hindi, a narcotic drug. So reaper autumn while he was in the middle of his work, he was drowsed, he was intoxicated with the scent of poppy. Poppy made him asleep on the half-ribbed furrow. Fume means smoke, or here it means the scent of poppies, flowers of poppy. While thy hook spares the next swath and all its twined flower. Hook, the sickle, hasia, that farming tool. The hook of reaper autumn has missed the next swath. Swath, the next line of crop, because autumn is drowsed with the scent of poppies. So a whole batch of poppy flowers has been saved from cutting. And sometimes, like a gleaner, thou dost keep steady thy laden head across a brook. Next, Keats imagines autumn as a gleaner. Gleaner is someone who picks up grain left in the field by harvesters. So Keats here is imagining autumn as a gleaner who, with a bundle of leftover grain on his head, steady thy laden head. Gleaner autumn is trying to maintain the balance with the weight on his head across a brook, and he is trying to cross a brook. Brook means a small stream. So the gleaner autumn with the weight of bundle of crop on his head, trying to maintain his balance while crossing a brook, a small stream. Or by a cider press, with patient look thou watchest the last oozings hours by hours. Or autumn can be seen by a cider press. Cider press is a device, a machine used for crushing peaches and apples to squeeze out juice and pulp. Now, autumn is a cider maker who is sitting near his machine, watching patiently the last oozings. Oozing is the flowing of pulp and juice from the machine. So the autumn, in the form of a cider maker, is watching the apples and peaches crushing within the machine, and the juice coming out of it hours by hours without any break. Again, a very sensuous image. In fact, the whole stanza is filled with visual imagery created by Keats. So in this second stanza, Keats imagines autumn as 4 different persons. First, autumn is presented as a woman sitting carelessly on her granary floor. Second, as a reaper sleeping in his half-ribbed furrow. Third, as a gleaner crossing the brook with a bundle of grain on his head. And finally, he is a cider maker, watching patiently for a long time the juice coming out of apples drop by drop. And by personifying autumn, the poet clicks the picture of very common and familiar sights of the season, filled with the activity of farming work. Okay, I'll do the third and last stanza in the next video. Thank you for now.